Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been quite a while since I did some kind of Indiana Jones video, and I appreciate everybody's patience. For those watching this channel, you know that I've been working really hard on my tiny home right now. So I appreciate your patience. We're going to start trying to get back to some Indiana Jones material here, because that seems to be what you guys enjoy. So today we're starting a new series on how to acquire indie gear and basically make yourself a really good Indiana Jones outfit. I'm a member of several different Facebook pages that are basically dedicated to Indiana Jones cosplay, and there are people on there all the time asking, where do I get the hat, where do I get the jacket, where do I get the whip, where do I get this, where do I get that. So we're just going to basically start a series here, and each episode is going to cover one item or maybe a couple small items such as belts, straps, things of that nature. So this is going to be episode 1, and in this episode we're going to discuss hats. The hat is obviously the most important thing. Some might argue that it's the whip or the jacket, but the hat, once you have the hat, you can wear the hat with pretty much anything. So the hat is probably the most useful item to get started with. So in my opinion, that's where we should get going. I just want to get this out of the way. Stay off of eBay. I've bought so many Indiana Jones hats off of eBay, and I've been disappointed with every single one of them. Most of them are low-end, low-quality crap. Dorfman Pacific is one that I really can't stand. Their hats just, they don't look right, they're not made very well. They're generally crushable and made out of wool, so I mean they'll hold up in the rain or whatever, but it's not an indie hat. Their closest one basically looks like a wide-brimmed cowboy hat, where the crown is too short, the pinch is way off. Just don't waste your money. You're just going to find yourself buying hat after hat after hat, and you're never going to be happy with what you get. I was doing that pretty much constantly, because I was never happy with the hat that I got until I found John Penman on a fluke, just while I was surfing the internet trying to find like the ultimate indie hat. But we'll talk about Penman hats here in a minute. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the indie on a budget, and then we'll go up to like the very best hats from there. So in my opinion, the cheapest Indiana Jones hat that you want to look at is the Federation 4 by Kooba. That's an Australian hat company. They've also got what they call the Fed 4 Deluxe. Either of those hats are great Indiana Jones hats for the price. You're going to be paying about $150 for one of those suckers, and then maybe a little bit more for shipping. If you pay anything less than that, you're probably not going to be getting a good indie hat. I'm just going to give it to you straight. So, you know, you can go on eBay and find Indiana Jones hats all day for $30 to $50, and you get what you pay for. So, you know, take it from me. I've been cosplaying Indiana Jones for 20-some years, and I'm constantly upgrading my stuff. I haven't had to upgrade anything since I met John, because now I know how to get all the good stuff, and that's what this series is going to be all about. So, with that being said, I actually do not have an Kooba Fed 4. I do own a couple of Koobras, so we're going to be looking at those here in just a minute. Another thing I want to mention about Kooba is they have a new hat out now called the Adventurer. Not sure I would recommend that hat. I've watched some videos on it and things of that nature. It just doesn't look quite right. The pinch on it seems to be a little bit off to me. The crown doesn't seem to be quite high enough. I don't know, it just kind of bothers me. If you're going to go with a Kooba, go with the Fed 4 or the Fed 4 Deluxe. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, with that being said, let's take a peek at a couple of Koobas here. This is an older Kooba hat that I have designed. This is their Snowy River model. However, I have heavily modified the crown and the pinch in the front, and I also added this hat band and removed the hat band that came with it. I modified this hat to make it look like the one that James Marston wears in Westworld. So this is a Teddy Flood hat. I've owned this hat now for, I don't know, the better part of a year. I got lucky and got it off of Etsy for about $45. Brand new, these hats will run about $150. It's made out of a really, really nice felt. For what you're going to pay, this felt is outstanding. I mean, it's not a Penman, but I mean it's nice. This is an older model, so it doesn't have the liner on the inside, but you can see how nice the stitching is, and just what a really nice hat this is. I mean, it'll hold up in rain, snow. This hat will hold up to anything you want to do to it, and an excellent choice for indie on a budget, in my opinion. So anyway, there's that. The Kooba Fed 4 is basically going to be the same color as this one. I don't know how the lighting is showing up in the camera, but this is a great, great color for an Indiana Jones hat. My other Kooba model is this one here. This is a newer model. This is also a Snowy River hat, and you can see how different it looks from the other hat that I just showed you, even though they're the same hat. I designed this one to look like Crocodile Dundee's hat. So again, I changed the crown a little bit. I pretty much eliminated the pinch in the front, because his hat in that movie has pretty much no pinch other than just like a slight teardrop on the top of the crown there. And then I took a steam iron and flattened out the brim a little bit. But I mean, for all practical purposes, this hat is identical to the other one I just showed you. So you can see what you can do with shaping and really like manipulating these hats to look like you want. And then of course I added the hat band as well. This one has a nice liner because, like I said, it's a newer model. And again, the felt on it is just really, really nice. So these are the only two Koobas that I own, but I gotta say I'm really happy with them. I bought this one off of eBay. I know I mentioned to not get anything off of eBay, but if you look on eBay and type in a Kooba, you may be able to find a Fed 4 for less money. So that could be a good option for you. Now I'm just going to throw this out there as well, since we're going with indie hats. I know that this hat is very, very difficult to find. This is a Henry Jones Sr. hat that I got off of Etsy. It's very, very difficult to find one that looks just right and has the right pattern like this one does and all that. The only thing that I don't like about this hat is it's a little bit lighter than I would like. I'd like it to be a bit of a darker gray. So what I'm probably going to do is take some spray dye and darken it a little bit. But the design and the pattern and everything is just perfect. I got this one off of Etsy for about $120. I believe the site was Cherry Pat Hats. But if you go to Etsy and type in Henry Jones Sr., this hat will come up. So there's that. Back to indie hats now. We're going to start looking at some middle-of-the-road hats here, and I do have a couple of those to show you as well. The main ones that I would recommend are Steele & Jones, Peters Brothers, and screen-capped Leather & hats. I believe that of those three, screen-capped is the best. The quality is really good, and the wait time is going to be considerably less than the other two. If you live in the UK, I believe Steele & Jones is based in the UK. So you might want to go with that one because obviously the shipping is going to be less. If you're looking at a Steele & Jones or a Peters Brothers, you're probably looking at somewhere around a 5-month waiting period for one of those two hats. If you go with screen capped, the wait time is going to be about half that, maybe even a little bit less. I own a couple of screen-capped hats. You can look at them in my other video. I actually did a review specifically for screen-capped hats just because I liked them so much. But I'll show you the ones that I have here just real quick. This here is a Humphrey Bogart hat made out of 100% pure beaver. And the feel of this one, much nicer than the Kooba. However, you're going to be paying an extra $100 or so for any of those three companies that I mentioned, either Peters Brothers, Screen Capped, or Steel & Jones. All of their hats are going to run you somewhere around $250. This one here is also a screen-capped one, and this is my Indiana Jones Last Crusade hat. You can see how prominent the pinch is in the front. Crown's fantastic. It's got the curve on the brim, just like I like. Yeah, everything about this hat is great, and like I said, it's going to be about $250. So, now if you're looking for a high-end hat, and you want like the best of the best of the best, you got to go with a Penman. Before I get into Penmans, just want to get this out there real quick. Some people are going to say, well, why isn't he talking about Adventure Built? Most people know that Adventure Built has been around for a while, and they were kind of, you know, it as far as like high-end indie hats go. I'm not mentioning Adventure Built because Mr. Penman now owns Adventure Built. So if you order an Adventure Built, you're basically getting a hat from the Penman Hat Company. They are still sold under the Adventure Built name, and they'll have the Adventure Built logo on the inside of the hat, but they're all coming from the same place at this point. So, and the price is also going to be relatively the same. As far as quality, I mean, they're all made by Penman, so yeah, it's going to be great. The one I'm wearing right now is a Penman Temple of Doom hat made out of rabbit, and I've got several other ones. This one here is a Penman. This is a Penman. The one on the top is a Penman. So we'll just grab one of these real quick because there's no reason to review all of them. I do have a video dedicated to Penman hats if you want to look at my entire Penman hat collection. But this one is one that I wear quite a bit. This is the standard Raiders of the Lost Ark hat. You can see the nice tight pinch in the front. And this one's made out of 100% beaver. This one has probably gone on more adventures than all of my other hats combined. It's gone to Universal Studios, it's gone to Disneyland, it's gone on several different road trips. I mean, you name it, it's been done in this hat. And as far as waterproof goes, I took this thing on the Jurassic Park ride and basically got what amounted to a bucket of water dumped over my head when I was wearing this hat. And as you can see, it still looks great. For Penman hats, oh yeah, we got one more hat right here. This one is also a Penman, but this is the best of the best of the best. This is the best hat that Mr. Penman sells. This is what's called the Legacy Collection. This probably isn't going to show up very well in video, but you can see how much more flexible the felt is here, and it always returns to its regular shape. I mean, you can roll this hat up and stomp on it. You can even like squish it up and pack it in your luggage if you want to, although I wouldn't recommend that because, you know, these are just too pretty to leave in your luggage. You might as well just wear it. But the felt on this one, just the feel of it, is absolutely incredible. All the other hats that I just showed you, this one blows them all out of the water. This is the very best hat that you can buy, in my opinion. And once again, this is called the Legacy hat, sold by Penman. So, that pretty much covers the span of indie hats, from indie on a budget to the very, very best. Mr. Penman's hats start at about $300. This one here is my Dick Tracy. This is made out of rabbit, and this is one of Mr. Penman's cheaper hats. This one was around $300. The Raiders hat that I showed you is made out of 100% beaver, and that one's going to go for around $500. If you want the Legacy, that one is going to be probably closer to $600, probably $575, somewhere around there. All of his hat pricing for Mr. Penman is on his website at penmanhats.com. You can go there and check it out and see like the list of hats and get a rough idea of what you're going to be paying for the hat that you want if you want to go that route. But yeah, so that covers the indie hats, $150 all the way up to $600. Get what you like. All those hats that I mentioned today are going to be very, very good hats for the price. These are the best value hats on the market as far as, you know, what you can get for a good Indiana Jones hat. There are a few other ones out there. Some guys on Facebook are making them and things like that. But for the average Joe who's not like willing to spend months and months of research to try and find the exact hat that they want, if you go with one of the ones that I mentioned, you can't go wrong, and you'll be very happy with what you get. So I appreciate everybody watching. We'll be getting back to some indie material on this channel within the next few months here. I'm going to try and get one of these up at least, you know, one per month. One every couple of weeks would be great. But yeah, I appreciate everybody's patience, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you soon.